Honorable Gabriel Saleh joins us from our studios in Abuja, representing the Southern Kaduna community. We also do have Colonel Hassan Stan Labo here with us in the studio. He is now a security consultant. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Let me start with Honorable Saleh. Concerning what has happened right there in Kaduna, well, there are those who are short of words concerning, they can't seem to, lay their hands on what really the issues are. Why are we not able to address them? Could you give us some perspective? What is going on?
Yeah, my name is Honorable Gabriel Saleh Zok. I'm a member representing Kachia Kagarko Federal Constituency, Kaduna State. It is quite unfortunate that this is happening because we are one nation, we are one brothers, we are one family. I could recall in 2014, the campaign slogan for we the APC was, the PDP have failed Nigeria in time of security. And the people actually believe in us, the APC, and voted us into power in order to get peace, because there is no country that will develop without peace. And in Southern Kaduna, Southern Kaduna are hardworking people. This is the period where they farm their products. We are the producers of ginger in Nigeria. But most of our people don't go to farm anymore because of this security problem. Yesterday someone called me, they kidnapped his brother and they are demanding for ransom. And our people in my village, which is called Jabonkogo, there was a threat. Everyone left the house. For the past 1 week, nobody is sleeping at home. So I feel the federal government have failed Nigeria, and our people are crying, are suffering. Over 40 people were killed in less than 2 weeks. So we need to call on the federal government to actually bring security attention and declare state of emergency. And I call these people terrorists. They are terrorists because you can't be, there is no any religious problem. People are living in their house, you come into their house. It's not that you are coming to steal, you are coming to kill them. What have they done to you? So we need to call on the federal government. We need to call on, in the House, we've made a resolution where we ask Mr. President to relieve this service chief. This is my advice to Mr. President. When he came as a president, we voted him because he was a general. And we believe that he was going to solve the security problem of Nigeria. If you go to Maiduguri today, every day the governor will complain about how the Boko Haram are destabilizing the state. If you go to Zamfara, the same thing. You come to Kaduna, I was having a discussion with someone now. I told him something. I said, you cannot, as a governor, you don't have the total power to actually control the security problem. Why I said that is this. The president needs to create state and local government policing have to work, where the governor have power to appoint the commissioner of police. He has power to sack commissioner of police. With that, I believe we can solve the problem of this country. But if now the governor will come to, if there's a problem in the state, he has to leave the state to come to federal, then federal will now call commissioner of police.
Okay, we get that point. Just hang on a minute. We'll come back to you on that, but let me get Colonel to respond to some of these things. I mean, one wonders what you can tell family or communities, people who their houses have been attacked, who are being killed. But as is presently constituted, they will always look to the security agencies with that big question. Why can't they seem to handle this?
Thank you so much, Chamberlain. As a matter of fact, I must say this because it's important we always be objective when we're on air. If the local authorities on ground are complicit, in most cases, and I assure you, the security agencies might not be able to go beyond or show acceptable results on ground. I say this because I have taken a personal review of the situation in Kaduna State, and I regret to say that Rufai, His Excellency, is complicit. The government of Kaduna State is complicit. If we say there is, what's it called, curfew imposed, and yet the same group of people who had attacked a community before that curfew was imposed, which in itself is an additional burden on the people anyway, how come with curfew imposed and with your security agents, allegedly on ground, yet that same attackers came again in the night to continue an unfinished business? Now, when you look at the situation in Kaduna, because I'm saying this because frankly speaking, it's not a matter of we just sitting here and saying, oh, the security agencies are suffering social deficits, there are no this. I agree they have their own challenges, ranging from manpower and what have you. Okay, we shall come to address that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that if the government on ground is not objective enough, if the government on ground, its actions indicate that it's already taking sides, or it has its own intentions, which what is ongoing fits into.
Okay,
I can assure you, my brother, we cannot make any more.
From what Honorable Saleh said,
Yes.
where if there's a curfew, and he says, look, the governor's hands, if I heard him and understand him correctly, may be tied because he always has to keep going to Abuja. Now, if they say there's a curfew and these chaps defy the curfew, is it that the security agencies, the local ones there, have got to wait on the directive from how is the governor complicit, put it simply? Because if he said there's a curfew, that means the agencies there have got to ensure that nobody breaks it. So how is it then complicit?
Thank you. The agency, or in this case, let's say the government, has got to ensure it is not broken. Am I right? How come the government only ends up arresting the youths within the community who are more or less what we want to refer to as the JTF within the community, who have taken it upon themselves to say, look, we must protect our community when these guys are coming in to invade? Fine. When the guys are coming in to invade, the security agencies or the government does not see them to arrest them. It is only when the youths want to stand up and say we must protect our communities, you see them to arrest. A good number of these youths are there in all sorts of cells all over in Kaduna State. How many of these so-called headers, because frankly, the situation in southern Kaduna is not a headers farmers issue. Maybe I'll throw some light to that later. How many of these invading guys have been arrested?
Okay.
Whenever they are arrested, whenever they are arrested, they are just meant to be displayed before journalists and for TV, paraded before television. After that, it ends there. How many have been prosecuted? Nil. How many under detention? Nil. How many JTF or Southern Kaduna youths are under detention? So many.
So does that then explain why the security agencies are not able to prevent these killings from going on?
Part of the reasons, which has to do, of course, maybe with the inadequacies on the part of the security agencies. There is the absence of, what's it called now? Appropriate transport mobility. Okay? We do not have this modal mobility arrangement within, as the security forces are constituted right now. And what are these absent, what are these deficits in terms of modal security, transport arrangements? You can bring troops and line them up along, for instance, Kaduna-Abuja Road, with the intent of taking care of whatever is ongoing in the forest. For instance, if banditry is happening and so on. Those troops can be there, but might not be able to access the bandits. Why? They lack the necessary transport, ranging from helicopters to motorcycles to all seasonal mobility transport assets to all-terrain mobility transport assets.
So it doesn't matter that the government of Kaduna State has military formation in the southern
Thank you.
Kaduna.
What assistance have you been to them to ensure that they have those things they require?
Okay.
Let's see. We see in Lagos State.
Let's take this back to Honorable Saleh. Some of the issues that a number of people might want to raise as far as this matter is concerned is how the people are able to cooperate, if at all necessary, or how easy it is for the people to cooperate with security agencies. The governor of Kaduna State has made it known that there are military formations in southern Kaduna, in the areas where these things are happening, and there are police formations there as well. Are you saying that's not helped in any way? What exactly do you think of that?
Thank you very much. We all know that the governor of Kaduna State is working tirelessly to see that he brings Kaduna to a brother and sister and one family. But a lot of people are misunderstanding the governor. When it comes to issue of security, yes, there was 24-hour coffee. I had a meeting with the governor, I think 3 weeks back or so, where we discussed about the issue of security. If you look during the COVID-19, where they set up a committee that there is coffee from so time to so time, a lot of these security operators, they collect money from passengers that are coming with goods that we are not allowed to enter state. The governor have to summon his commissioners, his PAMSEC, every political appointee in the state to be on deck, and they stay around our borders to actually see what comes into the state and what goes out of state. Now coming to our constituency and southern Kaduna, yes, there was coffee. The governor does not, he can go and say, oh, this is what we want. But do those army and police and JTF, do they actually comply with what the governor's, with the governor's orders? No, they don't. The reason is because if they send them there, what they send them to do is not what they are doing. That is why I'm calling on the president to actually take it serious and give the state the authority to have state policing and local government policing. I believe that is going to be the biggest problem. That is going to be the biggest solution of this security problem of this country.
Honorable Saleh,
if I have a problem today as a House of Representatives, as a House of Representative member, and I cannot go to my local government chairman and sit down with him and discuss on how we can solve the problem, I'd rather come to National Assembly and then raise a motion, we resolute before we invite, it's a long process.
Okay, but could you give us an example? Pardon me for that. Could you give us an example when you say the governor gives a directive, they are not obeying that? Give us a scenario. In what circumstance, how has that played out?
Okay, I can give you, let me bring it to a political example, where you have during election a lot of state governors, they will say, if anything happened to me, you should know that the security...
Apologies, could you use an example concerning these killings that are going on? Because that's what we're trying to address and solve. Identify the problem so we can see.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is this. The army, the police are not doing their work. Because the reason why we have security is because we want them to protect us. I have security man in my house. The reason why I put security man is for me to be protected. where armed robber will burst into my house in the presence of security, it means my security have failed. So now the governor in the state is the chief security officer of the state. And if there's a problem in the state and he ordered the army and the police to look into it, they are supposed to make sure that they don't disappoint.
All right, let me ask you this. The point Colonel Sabo was making is that when he was blaming the authorities, and particularly the governor, as you say, he's the chief security officer of the state, is that why is it then that the youths in Southern Kaduna are being arrested when they choose or say they will defend themselves, and then the security agencies are not able to protect them from being attacked?
Okay. When I had meeting with the governor, we discussed about the issue of that's the southern. We have a group called Sukapu in Southern Kaduna. We have Adara. We have, if you want to, you have a elected House of Representative member, which every problem of your constituency comes through you are elected. That was the reason you elect your House of Representative to represent you, not a group. Now, you having this group and turning it to a political problem, that is what the governor is against. He's not against any Southern Kaduna person or trying to prevent themselves or defend themselves. Now you see Sukapu will just go on TV, they will be talking about, oh, how Kaduna State Governor, he did this, he did that. Somebody told me that, I was just with somebody, he said, Kaduna State Governor have failed Southern Kaduna. I said,
is that why they are being arrested?
Kaduna State, that is what I'm trying to tell you. You cannot, you see, when you get yourself, if you have a problem, what you should come through your representative. You have a local government chairman, you have a state House of Assembly member, you have House of Rep member, you have a senator. When you come through your representative, you don't just wake up because somebody tell you something and you believe. It causes crisis. Now, if crisis bursts into Southern Kaduna now, who at the end the international world will look at?
Okay.
Is the governor.
All right. So, just hang on a minute. From what he's saying, it appears as though he's talking about processes and procedures that need to be adhered to before whichever group will come up with whatever they're coming up. But he ended up blaming the army for not doing their jobs.
Well, he's entitled to his opinion, but I must say this, that if he's the rep of the people in the House, I'm afraid he's not representing them well, because he's speaking from both sides of the mouth as far as I'm concerned. Well, I'm not surprised he's a politician. I'm not a politician, so I can be more objective in addressing the issue. But I'm very sure his people listening to him will be highly disappointed.
He mentioned something about the military not being able to take on the issues as and when due.
Yes. In most cases, when there are distress calls, all right, like I rightly said the other time, in most cases when there are distress calls, before the security agencies even get to the point, right in the communities itself, the invaders may have finished whatever they are doing and even moved on to the next community because of the handicap which the security agencies are suffering, which I have also said is also partly informed by the tacit complicity which I see from the state government as to what is going on ground.
But isn't it also possible to say, look, okay, these things have happened and security agencies got there after, the event. Isn't there some investigation, some information that they could have gotten to make the government say, no, do not arrest these people because they are just trying to defend themselves?
Thank you. I agree with you. But who is to press and make sure he gets that from the security man? Is it not a state government? He is referring to the president. The president should come to... What is the governor on ground doing?
Honorable Saleh, could you address that pointedly?
Shouldn't be the president, the governor.
Yeah. Honorable Saleh, speak to that pointedly, please.
Okay. That's what the governor's doing.
Go ahead.
Why I'm saying if you said that I'm not representing my people well, that's not true. I am a good representative of my people, and I will do anything to protect the life and property of my people. You have 3 tiers of government, right? And you cannot do what the Constitution does not give you power to do. Now, the Constitution has given the president so much power in time of security, not the governor. Now, if you said people are coming out to defend themselves, yes. Already, the security, if you said the governor does not service the security people in the state, that one I can tell you, he's not saying the truth. I have had several meetings with the governor where there's a budget monthly that he gives the security people.
If you can hear
all
me,
the vehicles that
if I feel threatened, why won't I defend myself?
When you talk about defending yourself, these people are they there when the crisis that happened, before people will come out and retaliate, these people are gone. Now the security people are not there to defend the people. They are not there to defend our people. I'm not saying that our people should not come out and defend themselves. I'm saying they should come out and defend themselves. But let them defend themselves on the people that are bringing this attack. Because the security have failed us. If I'm there, I'll also
just
defend
one
myself.
moment, Honorable Saleh, just one moment. What kind of feedback are you getting from your people, some of which are being arrested for defending themselves? What kind of feedback do you get from them when you go home?
Well, when you say some of our people are being arrested, what kind of feedback I get from them? Of course, they are being arrested for defending themselves, which we are telling the state government these are the reasons why they should not be arrested. And the state government, that was why I brought about the issue of representative.
But you didn't address, when you say that security agencies are not there to defend the people, the question is why?
Okay, I cannot tell you why the security people are not there, because the security people are not being controlled by the state governor. They are being controlled by the federal government.
Okay, all right. Let me bring in Colonel before we wrap up. Colonel, what do you make of this?
Yes, let me just respond to him, please. My brother, Saleh, have you seen Governor Zulum in Borno? That's Borno State, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Going from village to village with the leadership of the military, deploying men. You know where the problems are. As you are allotted troops on ground, you as chief executive must read yourself into the battle. Show your presence on ground. Let him know, sir, general, I want your men to please protect this place. You see here is vulnerable. You see here is vulnerable. You see the Zulum, what's his name? Zulum, sorry. Moves ahead in the field. You don't just give directives and say, oh, welcome, soldiers, go there, protect the people, and you remain in government house in Kaduna. You must be on ground to see what's happening.
And they're two different things. If he does that,
yes,
he's not the commander-in-chief. He doesn't control the army.
Nobody is saying he controls the army.
But he's talking about the structural
He is the chief
problem.
security officer of the state.
But he does not have the command.
Yes, yes. And that is a constitutional issue, because he was talking about what you've just raised, and so on, state police and so on. If we are waiting for that, this Nigeria we have today, even in another 3-4 years, that constitution will not be amended.
But this issue in
we
Kaduna
are
State,
talking about solutions for today's
just
problem.
one moment. This issue that we're talking about today is not new. It's been on for many, many years.
Many years.
This government.
Yes.
Why are we unable to track the real source?
Because of the sort of leadership we can see now. Because of the sort of leadership we can see. I hope you know we are talking about the minority Christian, vulnerable, marginalized people of Southern Kaduna in the heart of the North. You must understand where these issues are coming from. All right?
We thank you, gentlemen, Colonel Hassan Stan Labo, security consultant, and Honorable Gabriel Saleh, representing Southern Kaduna, member of the APC in the House of Representatives. Gentlemen, thank you both for talking to us today.